Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to DLS Weekly. We're live here at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Middletown. So glad you could join us here tonight. Pat Garriani's here with you, leading the charge. Nick Alessandrini, hope all's well. He's got the night off tonight. Scheduled night off. Right, we're doing some load management early in the season, so he's going to rest up there. But action-packed show here tonight, as we have both St. George's and the Appoquinimink football teams joining us a little bit later. But before, and as well as our Super Sevens and our top plays of the week, you'll get all that here tonight on DLS Weekly. Now I'm going to bring in, before we get into all that good stuff, we got to welcome back.
Look
Our
who's
guy,
back.
Glenn Frazier, the man, the myth, the legend.
Glenn is back.
As well as Benny Mitchell. Glenn, welcome back, man. It's great to see you, friend.
Good to be back. Never started this late in the season before, but hey, man, I was getting bored at home. I had to get out of the house.
Yeah?
You know?
You in the bunker?
So we amped up, you know? We amped up the rehab.
Love it. Benny, how we doing here tonight?
Doing great.
Making the trip up here.
Yep, nice easy trip up now that we're into the fall. You know, into
Yeah, all
September.
Newcastle County returned
They're
home,
all up
huh?
here now. I get to see everybody again. But yeah, nice trip up, nice weather, and looking forward to some more football this weekend.
Absolutely. This weekend, again, I got some great matchups coming up. We got the two teams joining us. Before we hop into that, we had ourselves a good week last weekend as well. Benny, we'll start with a matchup that you had down there.
Yeah, we had Cesar Rodney and Laurel, and talking to both coaches before the game, they both said, we expect this to be a close game. I think a lot of doubters didn't think Cesar Rodney could stay in it. I tell you, take away one or two plays, Cesar Rodney might win that game.
Yeah.
Laurel ends up winning it by 5, but outstanding performance by Patrick Bell, running 160 yards on 20-some carries. Xavier Limehouse, if you're looking for a 2A guy, defensive player of the year off it, he's it.
Yeah.
He's that Javier White that they had a couple years ago. He does everything. He intercepts. He sacks. He changed the game on a corner blitz and sacked the quarterback for a 15-yard loss and just changed everything. And then there's just that Laurel ground and pound. In my article, did a little colonial joke on it before I got it, but it was Bulldogs by land, Riders by air. Because Rodney, they had 200 yards passing. Julius Timmons had over 200 yards passing, then Laurel chunking it up with 300 yards of rushing. It was a great game. And now Laurel brings in Caravel this week, so back-to-back.
Yeah.
And they're a little banged up. They played some kids I don't think thought were going to get on the field Friday night and played big roles for them. And then Cesar Rodney, and it came down to the last play. It was Cesar Rodney had the ball and it was trying to air it out. So it was a great game for a mixed crossover class game.
Absolutely, and you know it's the next man up mentality.
Oh, man.
You're going to have to do it if you want to ride
Always
it out to the end.
always one play away from being a starter.
It's the truth. That's
So,
the truth.
Pat, his game came right down to the end. How about the IR St. E's game?
Right.
That Indian River St. E's game was a good one, exactly right. And it started off a little bit slow. First half was a shutout being pitched by Indian River, 7-0. But you're right, Glenn. Things started to pick up in the second half. St. E's goes almost the length of the field, 80 yards or so. Last drive, 2nd and 1 from the 3-yard line. Unable to get second down, unable to get third down, fourth down and 1 from the 3. They roll out to the right, try and make something happen. Pass falls incomplete, but Indian River, I was impressed with them. They got some really good tandem back there in the backfield, and they really do. Team to keep an eye out down there. So we'll have a new champion down in that lower
Absolutely.
tier. It's gonna be fun to see how the season unfolds.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know is we don't know how these games. I mean, we pick these games summer.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
where we're going to go, and it's not always we're not always picking who's going to be 1 or 2 or 3. It's who's got the best internet. You know.
Guilty.
But
Guilty.
but ended up getting 2 really good games. You know, at some teams we didn't know what we were going to get. You had Laurel moving up from single A to double A. Cesar Rodney with a new coach. Indian River and St. E's. St. E's 2 times runner-up. Indian River has always been the bridesmaid. And now they finally beat St. Elizabeth's for the first time in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And then, Glenn, the third game that we had was Appoquinimink and Dover. It was one that we really thought was going to be good. I know you weren't there with us, but you were watching the game. I mean, this game, Dover looked really, really good in this one.
Dover is hitting on all cylinders right
Yeah.
now. They really, on both sides of the ball, they can run, they can pass. Jaquan Kilby looks like he's back in top-notch form. It was a shame to see McConomy go out,
Yeah.
and he's done for the season. He's a great kid. He's a senior, so he's not going to get to play again this year. Broke his collarbone in the first quarter. I think it was the second
it was
drive
early.
that Appo had the ball. And, I don't think Appo would have won the game with a healthy McConomy because Dover is that good. But it would have been a little closer because it would have controlled the ball a little bit more.
Right.
They couldn't get off the field. They could not get the defense off the field. And, hey, hats off to Chip Knapp and Dover. They look very, very good.
Yeah, that year 3 under Coach Knapp and his offense, those core 3 or 4 guys, right? You talked about Kilby. You got Cosme as well. You got Parker. And then
Big line.
Yeah, big line, and oh man, the young man's name, he came up huge for them. He's a sophomore this year. I'm sorry, we're gonna get the name at some point here, but they've got weapons all over the field. They're definitely churning as a high functioning offense, and Appo with McConomy not there turned to the passing game. Yeah, the game didn't go their way, but that's going to be something to keep an eye on as we continue to go through the season.
Before you get off of the games that took place last weekend, I just want to give a shout out to Early College High School.
Yeah.
They got their first program win after losing 19 straight. They beat AI DuPont, but they get a big win, and they scored a lot of points. And how about First State Military? Off to a 2-1 start. Their only loss was to Charter by 3 points. And they'll play Seaford this week. That could be a good game, Benny.
Yeah, Seaford, Gisante Levon, man, he's the McConomy of Class A.
Right.
And I think he probably the fastest kid in the state.
Oh, yeah.
He set records in track last year. He's got, 15 offers in track and field. I think Texas Tech is where he's kind of leaning. And then First State has the big running back. I can't think of his name.
First State.
Yeah. But they got Seaford. Another good game of Class A down there is going to be Polytech and Indian River.
Yes.
2-0 versus 2-0.
Yep.
Polytech put 30 points on each game, so they're nothing to turn your head at.
Keep an eye out for the Panthers for sure.
That's right.
But fellas, we'll take our first commercial break of the night. When we come back, our first guest of the evening, you're going to want to stick around for that. We'll introduce you to them right here on DLS Weekly.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home.
back into DLS Weekly. Pat Garani's Glenn Frazier here with you, and now we are joined by the St. George's Hawks football team head coach John Wilson and the captains of the crew. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having us.
Fellas, go ahead and introduce yourself to the to the program tonight.
I'm O'Day Morgan.
I'm Cameron Montgomery. We're number 6 for SG.
Kyle Jones, 57.
Emery Womack, number 7.
Absolutely. Well, welcome in. We'll start off with an easy one here, folks. So we come into to Buffalo Wild Wings, obviously our sponsor here. What's the go-to menu item and/or wing flavor that you go to?
Asian Zing, all the way.
Well played.
Regular Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it classic with the Buffalo as well.
That's classy right
How
there.
about you, Coach? Honey barbecue.
You
All the
gotta
way.
love it.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. Hey, Coach, great start to the season so far with your group. Talk a little bit about what you saw maybe early on in the season during training camp and how that's kind of translated to the early season success.
Well, we saw back in our camp in the spring, all the way through the summer, the commitment, the dedication, having each other's back, that kind of thing. And the most important thing is when you push them and they're not complaining. They're doing what they need to do. They might grumble behind your back, but they're not doing it in front of us. And they're picking up guys and making sure that everybody's in the same boat together. And if it's not great, they're going to push each other to be good. And then I really enjoyed our preseason this year. We've had we have 104 kids. And for these guys, especially the upperclassmen, only 34 of them are seniors or juniors. So there's a lot of, leadership that's required from these young men. And I feel they've got good connection. When you have that good chemistry, that always helps you, win some football games. So I feel the positive attitude, the dedication, the commitment, and just the resiliency, which we showed in a loss last week, was a big factor for us. And I think that's because a lot of these guys had experience from last year that started at 1.2-6 and ended up making it to the semifinals.
Your linemen, you got a lot of returners coming back from last year. That really counts for a lot, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes. We made a change week 5 last year against Hodson, and that's when things started turning around for us. And they got better as the season went on. We thought we were going to build for the future, at the same time trying to see what we could get out of our kids, but they've carried it over this year. We had a little setback last week, but I feel we can, any coach will tell you, we can look at film, make some corrections, and I feel confident already we've done a good job of that.
Absolutely. And fellas, from a player's perspective, as Coach said, you guys really kind of rode a hot streak towards the end of last year. I mean, how does the confidence level coming off of that last year, how has that helped you guys, build into this season?
Well, honestly, last year, I'm always friends with the seniors. So at the end of last year, I was kind of just playing my heart out for them. And now transferred over, I'm a senior now, so I'm trying to just make sure we have a good season, end it off great.
Absolutely. Was there any particular, focus that you felt you could have taken from last year's experience and moved into this one individually for each of you guys?
Definitely. Never give up. I feel like we're always kind of as the underdogs. I feel like we always come through and show up when the time needs to come. So I feel like that's what it is, really being resilient and sticking it out through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
The question for all of you players, Coach just alluded to the fact, tough loss last week. How long does that stay with you as you're now trying to prepare to play Appo? Are you all focused in on the Jags for Friday night?
Of course.
Only lasts for the weekend. More in the loss, but then it's a new week.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as
After film session, we got to put that behind us and start game planning for the next game. So honestly, we don't stick with loss. If you stick with the loss, it's probably going to be in your head for the rest of the week, make a play bad on the next game. So you just got to get over it for real.
Coach, obviously, you had an opportunity to go back and play St. Mark's earlier this season. Talk a little bit about that experience from your perspective. Obviously, 13 years over there with the Spartans. That had to be a big-time win for you guys to come back and win that game after trailing at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, it was 13 years as a head coach and then another 13 as an assistant.
Yeah.
So it was a long time there. And I'm just really fortunate to be around good people, wherever I've been. Good people here. But at St. Mark's, I was so lucky to be around. Delaware came out with the top 125 coaches.
Yeah.
And there was about 10 of them from St. Mark's. And I was able to sit and eat lunch and do things with those guys, observe them, coach with some of them. Some of them aren't even on that list. But just to have that mentorship from the older guys there, that just tremendous, from Tom DeMatteis to Fiorelli in girls basketball. I mean, these were all coaches. Lee Sibley, obviously, another one. But coming here, you just try to put your stamp on, wherever you are, you enjoy where your feet are at that point. It was nice to go back, but to be honest, it's been 6 years.
Right.
The hard part was pregame, where I couldn't do anything. Thankfully, these guys, I can trust them to do their job, but there was like 30 to 50 people coming up to me, so I didn't get to see them in pregame at all. But, once it was the game would kick off, it was about St. George's, and regardless of who we were playing at halftime, it was another we were down 9-0, and again, we just settled in that second half and took over the line of scrimmage, and that was good to see from our kids. But to go back to St. Mark's, what they did before the game was just classy and just a great gesture. I get embarrassed over things like that, but it was really nice of them to do that. And to, when someone recognizes your time spent somewhere, it's important.
Absolutely. And, fellas, from a player's perspective, looking at it on the field, you're down 9-0 at halftime. I mean, what clicked for you guys?
They were probably saying, send him back to St. Mark's. But, I would say the biggest thing was, I'll let Emery finish that. I didn't mean to take your question.
Going into halftime, I feel like we were getting our jitters out. It was first game, a lot of new guys coming up from the JV level. We have a lot of new guys that are willing to take chances and not be afraid to be down. That's another thing where resiliency comes in. We have a lot of dogs on the team that are ready to go every single play, no matter what. The next play that's all we're worried about, not the last one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We knew the game wasn't over. It was only the first half, so we knew to come out strong, just do business.
Absolutely. And, looking ahead now to Appoquinimink, right, Glenn? I mean, a good opportunity for you here to take on another playoff team from last year, Coach. I mean, what kind of challenges do they present, and what's kind of the focus on your end going into this one?
I mean, I've been there 6 years. I think we played them 7 times, and they're all pretty close games. I think, if anything, it's almost another rivalry between us in a sense, because it is such a competitive game. And, the thing is, I tell these guys, you got to be careful what you watch on film, because Dover's a really good team. We talked about it. And that can fool you into thinking that, they're not doing what they need to do. They're going to fix what they need to fix. We're going to fix what we need to fix. It's just going to be, again, we talk about winning the turnover battle. We talk about tackling and blocking. Those are the 2 key things. And this year we've had a luxury of having guys not play both sides of the ball so much. So that's going to be helpful, I think, to us in knowing our assignments and just getting better at what we do. Not what we do, but how we do it. Just try to get better in practice, try to get better each game, each quarter, and just take it from there.
Before Pat asks you the musical question of the night, if I could get each player to just tell me so far, what has been to you maybe the most important moment, or the moment that you've enjoyed the most so far in your football career? It could have been the first 2 weeks, or it could have been something that happened last year.
I'll go first. Probably my sophomore year, when we lost the playoff game against Dover. That taught me a lot.
Okay.
I probably got to say the Appo playoff game last year.
Okay.
Coming out as the underdogs and getting that big win. I don't think anybody expected us to come out and win that game, so coming out.
Good choice.
I would say the Apple game too, because it was the first playoff win that I've been a part of, and I think it was the first one in St. George's history too. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it was just a big moment for everybody, and I was just glad to share it with the team and stuff. So.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel as if the Cape game right before the playoffs, that was, I feel like that was our moment when we knew that we were capable of doing this. Like we knew that we were a playoff team, and that's what carried on to the next game where we succeeded. That was my moment.
Good stuff.
Pretty good. There's some good moments there for sure.
That was a pretty good moment. Go back on Emery, it was like we were a different team that night. There was so much energy that night, and the funny thing was, I think before the game, I said, you could still be the 7th seed and on a Monday, and they like perked up, and I think things were like, what? They thought they were kind of out of it. We had 2 games left. We had Cape and William Penn. So I said, you could be the 7th seed, and it was like, oh, okay. And then it was like coaching a brand new team in November. We went 3-1. It was awesome. That was a good memory.
That hunger, man, to get that motivation to get you there. Anyway, Glenn hinted at it. I don't know if you guys have been watching the show through the years, but this is one we got to give to everybody. So we're pregame. I don't know if you got control over the speakers in the stadium or if you got the AirPods in, whatever you got. One song to just let the beast out, man. Well, what's the go-to pump-up song for you guys?
Mine is Wins and Losses by Meek Mill.
It's a classic. Yep.
Mine's is GTA by Meek Mill.
Okay.
Mine is probably Championships by Meek Mill as well.
Why not, man? It's all Meek, man. Meek's a popular one.
Jonesy's still thinking about this.
Probably like Jimmy Cooks or something by Drake.
Well, Jimmy Cooks, all right.
How about you, Coach?
I don't know. I just make sure it don't have foul language before we start. That's the main thing I'm worried about. And we're good. We're in good shape. But I actually was drawn to Meek Mill's Champions too. Like, we used it in our highlight video, so I got to hear it a little bit.
It's big time. It's big time. Well, Coach, fellas, best of luck against Appo this weekend and the rest of the season as well. Really appreciate you guys coming on tonight.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys. I've been doing this a long time, and what 302 Sports does for Delaware High School sports is really special, and we appreciate what you do. It might not be told you often, but to be able to go on and for just people to watch your team or other teams, we really appreciate what you guys do and the objective, broadcast you bring to the table. We really appreciate that. So thanks for all you do.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yep. Well, as we said, best of luck rest of the way. Thanks for the kind words. There you go to St. George's Hawks football team ahead of their game against Appoquinimink. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, more DLS Weekly right here.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like, from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like, from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like, from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We loved her.
I-5 Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation. And 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
Scott Kammerer, president of Sodell Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Sodell Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group.
And welcome back to Delaware Live Weekly here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Middletown. Glenn Fraser alongside Pat Gariantes. And we just talked to Coach John Wilson, some of the St. George's Hawks players. We now have the Appoquinimink Jaguars assistant coach Paul Frame. And the players, we have Hoff, Glover, Milam, and Griffith. And it sounds like you got a couple of wide receivers here, so obviously you're the wide receivers coach. You had a lot of pull with that as to who came up here, right?
Of course.
You guys doing a real good job with the passing game, and it started last year about midway through the season. It seemed like McConomy was getting the ball every play.
Yep.
And then halfway through the year, what clicked? What started you to make that change with the freshman quarterback?
Yeah. So Greg Nielsen, obviously, he stepped up. Yeah. He stepped up tremendously to bring in the pass game. Obviously, then we included Noah, and then got Dylan involved a little bit later on in the year. Helped out, obviously, Daniel. So helped out a lot with the freshman.
Now you're going to have to rely on him maybe even a little bit more. It's a shame what happened to Run DMC last Friday night, broke the collarbone, and he's done, I guess, for the rest of the year.
We're still waiting on word for that. So we're
well,
still waiting on it.
Hopefully he can come back.
Yeah.
You hate to see it happen to any kid, but especially somebody their senior year.
Right, yeah.
And he's
absolutely.
such a good kid.
Yep.
All right, so now Glover looked pretty good, didn't he, Pat?
Absolutely.
Pat called the game.
Yeah,
Glover
he did.
got in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he ran pretty aggressively. I got to tell you, I was at home watching. I was impressed with him. So now you had a little bit of time to practice a little bit and kind of make up for not having McConomy out there.
Right.
So tell me, how are things going?
Things are going great. I mean, I'll give Glover all the credit in the world. The work that he put in this offseason was amazing. I mean, I know his running back training coach from the offseason. I got reports from him probably every other week, and then also talking to Glover week in and week out about what was going on, how everything was going. I mean, next man up mentality. That's the way Glover's looking at it as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited for his path.
Fellas, players-wise, you guys, strong finish to the year last year. Obviously, you guys probably wanted things to go a little bit different come playoff time, but you guys have taken that momentum into this season. Talk a little bit about what it was like in training camp this year. Obviously, another year under your belt. What kind of was your guys' focus from a player standpoint, and I mean, how do you feel those things have translated here into the early season?
Yeah. We went to the training camp with a chip on our shoulder, not going as far as we wanted to. And we just worked as hard as possibly can, so we try to make it to the state championship.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
As you said, the end of the year last year didn't go as we wanted. Bounced out in the first round. Definitely wasn't the outcome we expected. So we went into the off season. We just had to get it. We gotta do everything possible, work as hard as possible, stay focused, and go as far as we can this year.
This training camp, we did good. I was happy with everybody's performance and how the way we came out. So our mentality this year is just to be a dog.
Sure. No.
Just a competition standpoint that we brought in training camp, just pushing each other to get better every single day. Obviously, how last year didn't go how we wanted. Just pushing each other every day to get where we want to this year.
Now, Glenn alluded to the passing game, and that has definitely evolved. We've seen that with you guys. What stood out to me in particular with the Dover game is the timing. You guys all seem to be on time with the routes, getting the ball out on time. Talk a little bit about what you may have done in the off season to try and get that timing up, because that takes a ton of practice.
Yeah, me and my quarterback Greg and Dill, we would get together and we would throw.
Mhm.
So that just helps with our timing, just knowing when the ball gets out. Team chemistry is such a big part of it with the quarterback and the wide receiver,
Mhm.
and it just showed on Friday night and the games before that how much the chemistry has been there and how much it helps us.
Now, Pat, we forgot to ask the leading question here. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings, so I want you guys to think about this a little bit. Here you are. I'm sure you've been here before. What's your go-to menu item, and what sauce is your favorite?
All right, I'll start it up.
They're going to think about it, Paul, while you...
Yeah, I'll let them think about it. I don't really, it doesn't matter about the style of wings, but obviously you get the wings. I'll get Asian zing and honey barbecue, and then sometimes I'll rotate in like the Caribbean jerk, something like that.
Hey, you got a little rotate.
Switch it up. I got a rotation.
You got to rotate.
Yeah, I got a rotation.
I go with the boneless honey barbecue wings.
Okay.
I mean, I keep it classic. I go with 3 tenders, French fries, and a root beer.
Phenomenal.
That's a combo meal, isn't
That's
it?
phenomenal.
Yeah. Mr. Milam with the combo meal.
Yes, sir. With me, I go to 10-piece boneless with the half honey barbecue and lemon pepper, or I switch it up and get the mild.
That's a big time order. That is.
It's something that not many people get, but I keep it simple. I go 15 boneless salt and vinegar wings.
Salt and vinegar, the dry rub.
Yep.
The dry rub, Glenn. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
That is a good one.
All right, so let's transition. Maybe we had the mid-interview break right there. Let's relax now, right? So let's look ahead here to St. George's. Coach, players, same thing to both of you here. Another great opportunity, a team that you got to play last year. What's kind of the focus going into this one to kind of take the momentum into this new week?
I mean, obviously, with everything going on right now, we're looking to rebound from last year. Obviously, the season ended against them last year, roughly. I mean, we're looking to continue doing what we do. I mean, we're not going to shy away from because of the situation at hand.
Sure.
We're not going to shy away from anything. So, I mean, they're a great coach team. Coach Woods is an amazing coach. But I mean, having these kids up here, these 4, they're ready to go. They're ready to go.
Absolutely. Fellas, taking a look at it from your guys' perspective, I mean, what's kind of the focus for you guys, both as a team and as an individual, going into this one?
We're taking this game personal, as we lost to them in the playoffs last year. We go in every game trying to win. We're going to work as hard as we can. Come out with the win.
Things didn't go how we wanted it to when we played them last year in the playoffs, so we going into this game with a different mentality as opposed to others. We got more to prove with this game, so we're going to try to come out with the W.
As a team, our mentality is just to stay together and just play how we're supposed to play, do our job on 111. That's it.
Just with the way things went last year, we just want to stay together as a team and show everyone we're still here and we're still going to keep coming forever.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to throw a new question in. Maybe we can make this a staple now. You guys think about this. Who's your favorite NFL team and player? Team and player.
Great one, Glenn.
All time or currently?
All time. It doesn't have to be current.
My favorite NFL team right now, the Eagles, but my favorite player of all time is Ed Reed.
I'm a safety.
Ed Reed, okay.
I'm a Washington Commanders fan. My favorite player right now is Chase Young.
Okay.
My favorite NFL team is Seahawks. My favorite player of all time would be Marshall Lynch.
Okay.
My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys.
What?
All right, now interview over now.
And my favorite player of all time is Des Bryant.
That's fair. That's fair. You going to throw the X up for us on Friday night, maybe? No, that's good, fellas. That's good.
Yep.
Coach?
Eagles and all-time B Dolphins.
B-Dog.
Yeah.
All right.
The energy.
We like it. We like it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, wait. We'll close it out with the fun one, right? Another fun one here for you guys. Friday night, ready to go. Right before kickoff, whether it's the earbuds or you're able to hack into the speakers, what's the go-to pump-up song to get you ready to go before kickoff?
We're
Discussion.
collaborating. We're collaborating.
No, they don't want
In the locker room on the speaker, we play "Certified Campers" by Lil Bucks.
All right. I'll have to look that one up. Yeah.
Me, I'm running around setting everything up. So I'll throw.
He's doing all the
Yeah,
IT work.
I do all that, but there's times when I throw my AirPods in and honestly, whatever just comes on. I'm not paying attention to really what's on because I'm trying to set everything up. So.
All right.
But I listen to everything.
Anybody else got any other ones, or is that a consensus group pick?
He said the locker
Oh,
room.
okay.
All right. Hey, I like that, man. You gotta get the bump box going.
They
You
do.
know that? Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. There you have it, folks. The
do.
Appoquinimink Jaguar football team. Coach, fellas, thanks for coming on here tonight.
Appreciate
Best
it,
of luck
guys.
the rest of the
Thanks for
way.
having us.
There we have it. We're going to take a commercial break. We come back. Benny will join us back here on the set, and we'll have more DLS Weekly after this.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes. Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now. Homes. Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes. Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes. Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
And we're back, folks. DLS Weekly. Thanks once again to both the St. George's and Appoquinimink football teams for coming on. Great group of guys on both ends there, Glenn. Really fun to talk with them. Joining Glenn and I back is Benny Mitchell and Yeah, fellas, like we said, I mean, both of those programs, there's a lot of excitement around them heading into this season, and already a couple games in.
Right. Yeah, we talked about McConomy being out. Possibly they think he could be back, but for a senior, 2 other seniors that I know their seasons are over. Tate Wallace from Laurel never got started, MCL tear, probably out for the year. And then the big one, Jonathan Tyndall from Lake Forest, who I had pegged as a possible player of the year in 2A.
Oh, yeah.
And
Very talented.
broken leg, and talked to him last week at the show, and he's not coming back. No. So there's 3 seniors that
you got to,
tough
man.
guy.
You got to. Man, of course. But yeah, so fellas, we'll take the opportunity now to jump into our Super Sevens. As you'll see the graphic pulled up on your screen. I believe we'll start off with 1A, correct? 1A hopping up there on the screen right now. Obviously, we had the St. E's Indian River game last week as one of the highlights, but I mean, there's going to be a new champion there this year.
Absolutely.
And St. E's kind of a rebuilding type year compared to the last couple. A lot of new players, new faces over there. Talk a little bit about, this division and who stood out to you here now through 3 weeks.
I think we're going to see a lot of changes in Class A this year. We're going to be seeing a lot of teams coming, like First State Military is now in. Some people had Indian River 1. It was a split decision with them and Tatnall. We really haven't seen Tatnall play,
They got
comparable team, but they've got some athletes with Lamont's back, and Indian River's more of a full team type. They don't have a stand out. They got a lot of really good players. Don't have a stand out. Seaford's not. I mean, they're 2-0. They played Woodbridge pretty tough. Woodbridge 3-0 up in Double A. So. How about First State Military cracking into the rankings first time in any sport? And then you got Polytech.
Yeah, they've had an impressive. They had a couple impressive victories, man. They took down Charter, who's another team. That's
Brandywine beats Concord. There's a lot going on there. It's Class A. I don't think it's going to be a 2-team race. I think the semifinals are going to be lit this year.
Absolutely. And Glenn, anybody in particular that stood out to you here in the early season?
Well, Benny mentioned most of them. We all had, I think, Wilmington Charter pretty highly ranked in our first Super 7. They've kind of fallen off a little bit, but they're still right in that mix, too.
In the middle,
I'm really looking forward to that game this week. 2-0 Polytech at 2-0 Indian River. That's going to be a good gauge for both of those teams. That could be the game of the week in 1A.
Right. It's a shame they don't have good internet down there. We'd be there.
That's the truth, man. Yeah, but we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Yeah, that's going to be a wide open division, and I'm excited to see it, considering it's kind of gone chalk the last 2 years with the top 2 teams kind of being, noticeable pretty early on. So exciting to see how this continues to go. Taking a look here in Class 2A, Super Sevens hopping up on the screen now, and obviously Laurel being introduced into the mix as another quality team being introduced into this Glenn. And obviously the Buccaneers, Glenn, I'll let you start it off. The Bucks look really, really good.
The Miller brothers, not related, but oh man, what a 1-2 punch. A word at quarterback. They've got a stud defensive team. They might be the most complete team this year in 2A. And I know we always talked about the balance of 2A, the first 2 years of that class. It might be Caravel's to lose. Good matchup this Friday night, though. They got to go down to the dog pound and play Laurel. That's a pretty good matchup, Benny.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. Laurel so far a little one-dimensional with the run game. They've not thrown the ball out because they didn't throw the ball out last year because they didn't have to. But the Millers, as good as they are, they got to get around, through, over, and past Xavier Limehouse and Pat Bell, Royce. I'm not sure if Royce Scott is going to play. He did not play last week. He's a tough linebacker. Laurel just, every year, they just, and look what they did. And I talked about this on the show last week. They came from 1A to AA. Last year, they played 4 AA teams. This year, the first thing they do is they sign up Sussex Central, Cesar Adiana 3A, and they go get Caravel. Caravel, the defending runner-up. They sign him up. Joey Jones, I said, is the junkyard dog. He'll play you anywhere, anytime, any place. He'll play you in a parking lot. He seeks competition, and that's one of the reasons Laurel's who they are.
Absolutely, and Hamlin, of course, too, with Carabel.
Mm-hmm.
2 punt returns in that opening weekend against Hodson.
Yeah.
He is another guy. They do. They got some talent. Laurel's got some talent. Is there anybody else that's kind of, whether they've stood out to you or maybe
Wilmington
surprised?
Another
Yeah.
Tattersall at
quiet, yeah.
quarterback. Wilmington Friends, they're off to a great start. The defending state champs, they lost quite a bit of talent from last year, but they're on mark again, I think, to get back to the playoffs.
Absolutely, Benny. Is there anybody else?
Well, my
Lake
season
out?
coach at Lake Forest, they're just getting bit with injuries. I mean, Tyndall goes out. Then last week their backup quarterback goes out. Now they got Snell playing, Wildcat.
Right.
They play Cape and Logan this week. That's, you don't want to be injury riddled going to any 3A team.
Right.
But they are. But look, here's what they, finish top 2 in your district. They still have their district games to play. Delmar's kind of being a little quiet.
They always are, Benny. Every year that
they had a
team
close
is-
loss to DMA, who we'll see Friday night. And Woodbridge off to a 3-0
Yes.
start.
Yeah. DMA, another
And
one.
Delmar
to keep an
has
eye on.
Wilmington Friends this Friday. They've got to travel up there.
I'm telling you, every year Delmar,
Saturday.
week 5 or 6, all of a sudden they just flip gears. It seems like it's like whether that offense gets picked up or whatever the case is.
Well, they're a lot like Sussex Central. They run that offense, on the dive, double dive.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to stop. Like Sussex Central runs the wing
Yep.
tee.
Right.
Wasn't hard. I mean, Middletown found a way to stop it, but
Yeah.
but most time they run the ball, they eat clock, and they win games.
Yeah.
But and Delmar lost their 1,000-yard receiver, moved to Maryland.
Right.
And they're still in the hunt.
Yeah. Well, the Middletown's a different monster. And speaking of them, we'll take the jump up into to 3A here, and obviously you got those them Smyrna up top. You got Dover really starting to assert themselves. Obviously, the 2 teams that we spoke to tonight. St. Mark's has jumped up into the mix up there as well. Sally's is always around there. Talk a little bit about this class. Obviously, Smyrna and Middletown have been there the last few years.
Right.
They're reloaded again.
Yeah, right now I see a 3-horse race.
Yep.
With Middletown, Dover, and Smyrna. I mean, right now Middletown's ahead, and they still got those games to play. And as Twitter Phil called them on my show last week, Ginger Jesus always finds a way. Mike Judy finds a way to be there at the end. But then the bunch at the bottom, that is going to be competitive. 4 through 10 is going to be competitive. Yeah,
absolutely.
Central, Sally's, Hodgson, St. George's. Name them. You're going to see. Yeah, William Penn up. What are they 3-0 right now?
Yeah.
So
A lot of team speed for the Colonials. And we saw them last year. Young team, very fast, and they proved that the last couple of weeks. Look out for William Penn. They can make some noise. Hodson got a good win over St. George's.
Right.
They look like they're back in the mix again after some down years. So I'm with you, Ben.
A lot of good future college running backs coming out AAA too. You got Run DMC once he gets back. You got Mark High James out of Cape and Lope, and
You got 2 good sophomore running backs at Middletown. You got Kilby.
That's
Dover.
Kilby or Cosme as a quarterback. Cosme can run too.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, don't sleep on the young man from St. George's either.
Right.
Montgomery.
Cam Montgomery. Glover from
He
Apple.
ran that run against St. Mark's. That one touchdown run right before the half.
Yeah.
Got the juice flowing, man. It did. That was a grown man run.
So speaking of 3A, game of the week at Abyssinios, Louisiana hosting Smyrna. Sally's is 2-0, and the Eagles have lost to 2 very good out-of-state teams.
They've been 0-2 before and played the state final. So
Right. Yeah.
And it'll be a good one for sure there. And you mentioned Twitter Phil. Obviously, I could not find the name of the fourth killer from that Dover offense, Jaheim Cole.
Right, Cole. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that offense is just flying right there. 3rd year under Coach Chip Knapp. They're looking good. It's going to be interesting to see how this division plays out. We get some fresh blood in the mix there between Smyrna and Middletown.
I think this week we start I think AA starts their inter-district play.
It's coming up.
And then the next week 3A. Some of those teams start playing their district games, and that's going to heat up high school football.
We got some good games coming up this weekend, fellas, across the network, as we like to say. Let's chat it up about them.
Well, the 3A game that we have Friday night, the two teams were here. You heard them talking about it. It's Appo hosting St. George's. 7 times Coach Wilson says they've played the last 7 games. They're always close, and it's usually a low-scoring defensive battle. We'll see if that plays out. But I'm looking forward to. I think this will be a much closer game than Appo had with Dover on last Friday.
And Benny, you got another good one down
also
there.
Friday night, got another inter-class game with DMA coming down to the Castle. Always a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Sussex Central, I know they took a thumping from Middletown, but they're still a pretty good football team. They should be at full strength this week. I talked to Coach Wells on Monday. They expect Kyle Custis back, so it gives them two of the best, 2 of the top 10 defensive linemen in the state. With him and Moore Burdell will both be playing this Friday night. And new quarterback. Now with Custis back, they only have to replace 10 guys on offense. They were week 1. They had 0 offensive starters returning.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That'll be good. And then the third game, which will be tomorrow, is Red Lion.
St.
That
Mark's.
young, explosive Red Lion offense hosting St. Mark's, who's taken the jump last year. We did that game over at St. Mark's. Now they're hosting over at Red Lion. It should be a good one there. I mean, that Red Lion team, they
were inside the 2 at Cape on the road at Cape week 1 to win the game, or at least tie it, maybe go for 2 and win it. And then last week they came out and put it to Lake Forest. Now again, Lake Forest beaten up a little bit, but Red Lion's going to be another team in AA that's going to be a handful.
Yeah, and then, I mean, obviously the Spartans are a quality football team. They had a 9-0 lead over St. George's at halftime before things kind of went in a different direction. But yeah, that should be a good one. The Spartans once again continuing to reload it a little bit this year. But
and St. Mark's had a close win over Archmere.
Yeah,
Archmere, another team we didn't mention in 2A. It looks like they're going to be right in the mix as well again this year, even though they are Albero-less.
Right.
Mr. Everything, kick, punt.
AA Division II has been the wild west in Delaware for quite some time.
It has. Yeah, it has. So there you have it. That's our football talk this week. Obviously, those 3 great games coming at you this weekend. We'll take our final commercial break when we come back. We got some news and notes from around the state. Some former high school athletes that donned the cape here in Del HS. And then we've got our top plays of the week as well. You're tuned in to DLS Weekly.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
We're going to wrap this thing up here at DLS Weekly live at the Buffalo Wild Wings here in Middletown. A lot of great new flavors I can see. Looks like we got some boulette, bourbon barbecue, hot barbecue. I see some General Tso's and sweet chili lime. You gotta love that, folks. You gotta love that's some new flavors. Maybe some of the guys when they come on, or some of the ladies when they come on, we interview them. Maybe we'll throw some of those flavors out there. We'll see. But before we break off here, we want to talk a little bit about some standout athletes that used to don the Delaware high school jerseys and now have moved on to bigger and better things at higher levels. I'll start with you, Benny.
Well, mine's still a high school player. Our top performer for this week, Jordan Holloman out of Delmar, 21 goals, 6 assists, in 5 games. I mean, she's already completed a season that most people see.
Exactly.
But she is on fire. Delmar, of course, again, #1 in Division II, and just on the roll that they've been on for the last, 8 years.
Another Holloman.
Yeah, we'll talk next week. We're going to talk about her sister,
Okay.
who's playing at the University of Maryland.
Yeah, another Holloman there. Exactly.
And I think they play Smyrna coming up here next week.
Yes.
Smyrna knocked off Cape again.
Yes.
2-1, same score as the title game last year. So Smyrna with a big win in field hockey as well. 21 goals. There are teams that won't score that many.
That's That's
Wow.
impressive. That's
Right.
impressive
Goodness.
right there. 21. That's
All right.
And she pretty much plays against the best defense in the
Right.
state in practice.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth, Benny.
Because not only do they score 9 goals a game, they pitch shutouts.
Zeros. Yeah.
Glenn, I know you wanted to highlight a few athletes. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I got a couple for you. I think arguably the Southeast Conference, the best college football conference out there. Well, Debo Williams from Smyrna High is tied for 4th in the SEC in tackles with 29 after 3 games. He has 19 of those as solo tackles, and they're not playing any slouches, folks. In the first 3 games, they played Georgia and North Carolina.
Yep.
And so, great job by Debo Williams. And how about the WNBA last night, guys? You had Betnijah Laney from Smyrna for the New York Liberty and Elena Deladon playing against each other in the WNBA playoffs. 2 Delaware prodigies. Of course, Elena played at Ursuline.
Yeah.
And it was just great to see those 2 going at it. And ESPN had Laney on after the game with an interview. So great job by them.
Yeah, they're both great. Obviously, Elena's the Hall of Famer, but Naja's had a pretty darn good career herself. A couple-time All-Star, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. But no, that's pretty good, man. It's good to see athletes continuing to have success after their high school days are done.
Sure.
But that'll do it, fellas. One final thought here before we wrap it up, if you have one.
Yeah, check us out this weekend. 3 good games again this week. I'm supposed to get a little bit of rain, so throw some appreciation to my cameraman. We're going to try to get him covered up, but we'll bring it to you in the rain.
That's it, man. Bring the umbrella.
Looking forward to getting back in the press box again.
He's
First
back.
time this season, and I guess you're going to be there with me, and
I'll be here.
Nick.
Oh, I'm there. Don't you worry. I'm
we
going
got
to be
the
there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Appo and St. George's should be a competitive game.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, Glenn.
Appreciate it.
Feels normal. I'm a lot more just like at ease now. I got the legend Glenn Frazier back. So, hey, ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in tonight. Once again, one final thanks to St. George's and Appo for hopping on. 3 great games, as Benny alluded to this week. Top plays, I promised it to you, and unfortunately, I can't keep that promise. There's some technical difficulties going on. What else is new? That's the world we live in over here.
You can check them on our YouTube.
Check them out on our YouTube page. They are posted up. There's some great stuff there for sure. You're definitely going to want to tune into that. Thanks for tuning in to DLS Weekly. We'll see you this weekend.
Right in our own backyard, our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live.